Hello everyone, welcome to the deep dive after Liverpool beat Ipswich by 2-0. I'm joined by Josh Williams. For this one, we're going to be talking Arne Slot, we're going to be talking Liverpool, we're going to be talking tactics, we're going to be talking the first win for the new manager at the helm of the Reds. Josh, what do you want to talk about? 4-2-3-1?
Well,
I've got to end this joke now, that's the last time I'm ever going to say it.
Yeah, it was actually closer to 4-2-3, weren't it, this weekend?
It was.
Yeah, someone needs to ask him again, but I don't think anyone's got the balls to.
No one will ever ask him. No one mentioned numbers around Slot ever again.
No, definitely not. But to be fair, we are going to spend this episode praising him, really. I think he deserves it. He passed, I think, his first test in flying colours. I know he downplayed the impact of tactics and just put it down to duels, basically. And
Liar.
Yeah, he's a liar, yeah. That could have been the title of the show.
Just liar.
Arne Slot is a liar.
He did play 4-2-3-1 at Feyenoord, and it was down to the tactics.
Yeah. He made out that it was about duels.
Did he get better in the second half, mind?
Oh yeah, the duels definitely played a part, and Canate definitely had an impact as well as just an absolute fridge freezer at the back. You know, just not getting in the way at all, and dominating Liam Darp a little bit more than Kwanzaa did. But there was subtle tactical tweaks that allowed Liverpool to go and play the way they did. And yeah, I think after 45 minutes, first Premier League game, newly promoted side, away from home, you've had 3 shots and they were all from outside the box. I thought the pressure was on, but you just wouldn't have thought it. He seemed very relaxed. Even when we scored, he was just like a bit of a Benitez style, just like, I don't really care. So he seemed very in control, and I was quite impressed with it. Yeah,
he was. And listen, obviously a large part of it comes down to what Ipswich did in the first half as well, and he's obviously seen what Ipswich was doing. So why don't you talk us through what you saw in that regard?
So during pre-season, Liverpool have kind of built like that. That's how they've been building the game. And Ipswich kind of went man for man with it, really. They basically replicated what Liverpool were doing and used like a front 4 type thing. Yeah, like that. And they went man for man at the back, so they had 4 defenders at the back. And say this was Szoboszlai here. If Szoboszlai dropped deep, he'd follow him, yeah. So at times it looked a bit like that. Obviously I'm leaving out the midfield here. But because of that, basically, because Ipswich were brave enough to do that, Liverpool couldn't get out of their own half, couldn't get out their own defensive third. And it was a bit of a sticky, not really much happened, did it? First half.
No, we just struggled to get out from the back for the most part, didn't we? Obviously, I think
lots of fouls in there, and it was a game that exclusively got played about here. To be honest, they got 3 yellow cards in the first half, which is just a one-off. But I thought they did quite well. I think they posted like the best numbers of any team over the weekend for like sprints and all that, and distance covered, funnily enough, and things like that.
I did. I watched. I don't normally watch Monday Night Football, but I did watch it last night, and I was gutted, to be honest, because all the stuff that you'd planned for this show was getting done, and I was like, "Oh, this is why I don't watch it."
Yeah.
Because I always like it to be your own thoughts and stuff. Now, thankfully, I know that Josh had already done this, so these weren't just ripped off Carragher's analysis, which was good and brilliant, actually, by the way, as always. But it was also the little. Did you get that where you just went? Well, you then sort of dropped and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
I actually didn't see the full analysis. I only saw the clipped 2-minute version on Twitter. So I saw the part where he was talking about Robertson rotating with Van Dijk. I saw that bit, but I didn't know. Did he touch on this?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
The vises that you've got lined up could have just been nicked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I didn't know that.
So this is why I don't normally watch it, because I do like the analysis to be your own, and not somebody else's and stuff like that. And I know that Josh is his own, which is why it's okay to do.
So he touched on the wider centre halves and that?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Well, I mean, you can just you can go and watch that if you want. Sorry, I had no idea, genuinely. Yeah. But listen, tactics.
So at least stop blushing.
Yeah, well, tactics is tactics, mate. If that's what happened, that's what happened. But first, maybe you should present to my Substack. I'll have to check that.
But that's it. When he said distance covered, I was like, I wonder if he thought about Josh, because I thought about you when he said it, and he put that graphic up with the sprints and the distance covered and the pressures in the final third and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I saw the end of Monday Night Football as well, where you put down your player to watch for the season, and he put down Minter. And I've been really high on Minter in pre-season. I think he's going to be a belter. So maybe he listens to us, mate. You never know. But yeah, this was kind of how it played out anyway. So Ipswich had quite clearly watched Liverpool in pre-season. Because that was how we played out, and they came with a clear plan to stop it. They were stepping on our toes, and it was causing all kinds of issues for us. But in the second half, Klopp brings on Konate, a bit more of a unit, a bit more dominant. Everyone stepped up a little bit, which you just needed to do, needed to be a bit more brave and all that. But I thought one of the really subtle, interesting things that he did was just, rather than Konate and Virgil being the width of the D, they went like that and just did the width of the entire penalty box.
And if anyone watched Jamie Carragher's analysis, you'll know there was 43 yards between the centre-backs when he picked this position.
Well, we can't offer that value, sadly.
I was going to say it's about 8 inches.
I was going to say 42 yards, to be fair, but you know. But another interesting thing about it was Trent and Robbo didn't really do that, though, did they? It was still kind of like, you know, it was a bit like a ladder vibe, wasn't it? And in terms of the midfield, rather than it being what we've seen in pre-season, where it was kind of like that, you know, with a 2 and a 1, it was a bit more just standard 4-3-3 with Gravenberch as a lone pivot dropping deeper. And we saw that with the Konate to Gravenberch, to Salah, to Trent, to Salah, to Jota goal. It was very much a 4-3-3 in that way. So, yeah, I think the way in which Slot tweaked his build-up, to me, just suggested that he obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to the build-up, which is really, really important. So I always felt Klopp leaned on the lenses a bit with the build-up phase, and that's fine. You know, managers have weaknesses and that, but I always felt Klopp was a bit more of a forget the build-up phase, just get it up here and you know, when your counter pressures here, that's how you create your chances and stuff like that. And yeah, that was how we tweaked the build-up phase, and then with Liverpool's possession game, I think we just seemed to go a little bit more direct, seemed to be a little bit more practical, a little bit more Klopp, to be honest. You would have thought it was Klopp in charge, wouldn't you? Yeah,
absolutely. I'm just going to take these away for 1 second. We can always bring them back if you need them, because I think this right here is a really nice sort of way of showcasing the triangles that were made on the pitch. We've just done a show on Trent Alexander-Arnold on Redmen Plus, but you can see that everybody's got passing options inside and outside of them pretty much all the way through, and that is because he wants to build up centre. He doesn't want to build down the wings, does he? He wants to get that ball in, out and then through.
Yeah. And you know, the way in which the match played out, I think Kieran McKenna said after the game that nothing much changed tactically. He said Trent was a bit higher, but that was kind of all he noticed. But I felt like ringing him and saying, "You're wrong there, mate." Yeah,
there's tons wrong. Well, let's get the 2 visits that you got off Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
Because the first one is in the first half here, and you can see this is actually the underlapping run from Robertson that he did.
Yeah.
Because you can see Robbo going in there now, but you can see the distance, as you've correctly pointed out, either side of the D. And then if we move on to the next one, 43 yards between the centre halves and the second one, give or take.
About 42, mate.
But Trent, as you've said, is not sure on his boots. He's inside here, isn't he?
That's I actually like that, though, when you think about the strategic side of that. Because the touchline does always act as a man, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a problem for you. If you're receiving the ball here like this, you're consciously aware that the ball's going to go out of play here. So if you start telling your fullbacks to play here, they haven't necessarily got, like, you know, a complete 360 range where he can start making passes here or anything like that, but it does make it probably a little bit easier for them to receive the ball like that. They've just got a little bit more space probably in every direction, so I actually like that.
But in terms of the options for Konate, even if we just, you know, think about that screen shot that we've just sort of shown there, Trent's there, tough place to receive it. But if you play that ball to Gravenberch and then it's in front of Trent, that's how the goal comes about.
Yeah.
From almost exactly the same sort of position. But if you need to be the out ball for the defender, you've got it. But if your DM is running past his man, you've got a much better way of getting through their team, haven't you? So it's, again, build up century, not wide.
And we've seen with the second goal as well, Van Dijk gets the ball and he just plays one of his signature long balls in the direction of Salah. Salah controls it, and 10 seconds later the ball's in the net. So I think I was quite pleasantly surprised by... I didn't think Slot was like one of them who's like fixed, this is my idea. But I also didn't think like, you know, game week 1 at half time, he kind of just says, hit it long, boys. You know, in a way, like, obviously it's not as simple as that, but it was pleasing for me to see though, because I do think you need elements of that, and I think Liverpool fans in particular appreciate that kind of football where you are just a bit more streetwise about things almost. I think the idea of being wedded to one way of playing, and sometimes it can look a bit naive, and sometimes it's not necessarily, you know, you're playing football with your head when you're just conceding chances by desperately trying to play short and non-stop here. I think Liverpool fans appreciate that, so I think that was why we felt so attached to Klopp's game. So to see Slot willing to adapt like that, like there was a quote, you have to give me a second to get it up, but some of his post-match quotes were really good. I felt what Slot said. He was just saying things like really concise.
Well, that's what he does. He's very blunt, isn't he? He tells you exactly what he feels. You know, it was brilliant to see him just talking after the game with it was a Joe Cole and Peter Crouch, where he just went, yeah, it was tactical, and it's like, and they asked him again, and they were like, what? Can't believe he just told us that. He's like, it was tactical.
But I'm into that though.
It's boss. That's like, what you want. You want the truth.
Well, Alan Shearer criticised that though. You see that?
Yeah.
He said he's a young player and all that. He shouldn't have done it and stuff. And people criticise Slot.
You wouldn't have criticised if Mo didn't break his record.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. Yeah, but what I was thinking of was he said after the game, the way the other team defends, there is where we have to find our answer. And I think that's a great quote, that, you know, because that suggests that, like, rather than being, I mean, you obviously have your own principles, your own philosophy and that, but in terms of attacking the opposition, you adapt, and you have to do that. You know, it makes sense to do that, especially if you've got forwards up front. One of the other things he said was,
did he talk about Szoboszlai at all?
He mentioned, yeah, he said Ipswich took the risk to play one-on-one all over the pitch. Their centre-back always stepped in towards Dominic Szoboszlai, which is what we showed before. That means that you leave 3 defenders against 3 of our attackers. So basically use Jota, Salah and Diaz. Play through balls through them and stuff like that, direct passes through them. So it was a completely different second half because of Slot.
Yeah.
And in the second half we posed 15 shots compared to 3. Something like 41 touches in the box or something like that compared to 7 in the first half. And a lot of it was on Slot. And sometimes, you know, I do play down the importance of managers sometimes. I think the players are the big thing. But this was huge for the manager, just tampering with his blueprint and getting Liverpool a win on the first game of the season, which I don't think any Liverpool manager's done for a while now.
It was Graham Souness, wasn't it? The last manager who won his first game in charge, 91, I think it was, yeah. It was a long time ago anyway, obviously. So I think one of the things that I find really interesting about it is this combination of Dom Szoboszlai. We actually did break down the move. And if you go back and watch it, or you want to watch the Redmen Plus show, you can do. Go over there, sign up, redmenplus.com. But we break down the move, and Dom Szoboszlai's movement is so massively important. So if you don't want to sign up for Redmen Plus, just go and watch the goal again. But keep your eye on Dom Szoboszlai, because he draws the defender out, which creates the space for Mo Salah to run in behind. And that's exactly what he's talking about there in those quotes. But what I wanted to ask you about is, it's all well and good. Mike Tyson said it best, didn't he? Everyone's got a game plan to get punched in the face. Well, Slot's come into a new league. He's played in a Dutch league, or he's managed in a Dutch league where everyone pretty much plays the same way. Like, this is a learning curve for him in the Premier League as well. And it's not he wasn't playing a Premier League side. They are now.
Yeah.
But he was playing Championship side. That's even more different to what you see in being Feyenoord boss. So being able to be adaptable is going to stand him in a good stead moving forwards.
This is why I think he deserves such credit for this first game, because he could have easily froze, or some managers, for example, like Kieran McKenna in the game, they arrive with a plan. The plan works perfectly for 45 minutes because it's a good plan. But then when the other fella changes it, you can't spot the change quickly enough to react to it, and you end up getting beat, you lose the game. A perfect example of that is Gareth Southgate. Comes with a decent plan. Usually. Sometimes it works. But around the hour mark, once the Italian coach starts tweaking things,
Starts coaching.
yeah, you can't react because he doesn't see it. You don't see the changes. Unai Emery's unbelievable at that. Reacting to in-game changes. Benitez really good at it. Mourinho good at it. But most managers, well, I don't know about most managers, but it's nice to have, it's based on the first game at least, we've got a manager who not only has his own fixed philosophy and it's related to Klopp's and that, but he can recognise where the fallbacks are, what's wrong, and fix it mid-game with 15 minutes with his players. And you can come out second half and be, in terms of shots at least, literally 5 times better. We posted 5 times more shots in the second half than we did in the first, thanks to some very subtle tactical tweaks. So, Arne Slot, big green tick next to his name for this week, mate.
There we go then. So, is there anything else you wanted to touch on? Is there any other players that you wanted to talk about or anything like that? Or
let me check.
Because I think there is a conversation around Joe Kwanzaa and what this means for him.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to. I didn't actually personally think he was that bad. I don't think I would have subbed him. I'm happy that he got subbed because Konate was better. I think the reason he starts the game is because he's better on the ball. I still think he's better on the ball. But maybe he does need to be a bit more dominant, and maybe this can act as a bit of a, ignite the fire in him type thing. But I don't think it's any slant on his quality. Next game, though, will be interesting. I think Konate probably starts, doesn't he?
I think he has to after that.
Yeah. But Kwanzaa should. He is a unit. He's massive. But compared to Konate, maybe not.
And with Brentford being the next game.
Yeah. But I think it also offers an insight maybe into Liverpool rumoured to be selling Joe Gomez. Sepp van den Berg's rumoured to be on the move based on the past hour of news. I think it captures kind of maybe the next centre-half Liverpool target. Does he just have to be a typical kind of Michael Edwards groch, basically an absolute juicehead, as opposed to a ball player? Someone like an Inacio can play football, but he's not massive. He's not a physical specimen. Liverpool, in the past couple of years, have targeted centre-halves who just, at the very least, bigger, stronger and faster than you. So, bearing that in mind, it will be interesting to see if we replace Gomez and Sepp van den Berg before the window closes, who we're going to go for, because even Kwanzaa, who's a unit, weren't enough of a unit in the first half, or weren't aggressive enough, or whatever.
Interesting. Okay, well there you go. Thank you very much for joining us for the deep dive. As I say, if you do want the extra show, then go over to redmenplus.com. We're doing 2 shows a week from here on in throughout the season, one on YouTube and one on Redmen Plus. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.